Believe me, you're not going to want to hear what I'm about to say. And the only reason you're not want to hear it is because it kind of hurts and it's the truth. But anyways, I'm going to say it's that most online businesses that you try, they're going to fail, okay? And believe me, I would know. I've tried tons of online businesses. I've tried affiliate marketing. I've tried drop shipping. I've tried social media marketing, and none of them have really worked for me. Maybe I made a few dollars here and there, but none of them really worked for me. That was until about last year during the summer, I discovered this new online business that I've been doing for about a year now that's allowed me to quit my job back in March of this year and ramp it up to around 10K plus per month income, where I make that consistently now. I don't work a whole lot every single month on it, and it's making me that money. And we're going into Q4 here, and it's going to make me even more money. And you're probably wondering what that online business model is. I'm sure you've seen the title of this video, unless you're new and you're coming from an ad or something like that. This online business that I'm talking about is self-publishing books through Amazon and Audible online, okay? And I know it sounds like a weird business model. It's something that you've never really heard of probably. It's pretty under the radar still, but there's tons of people who are making tons of money self-publishing books right now on Amazon and Audible, and tons of people don't know about it. So it's a very big opportunity compared to the other saturated ones like dropshipping, social media marketing, and affiliate marketing, like I talked about before. Those ones that you're bound to fail, okay? But with self-publishing books, it's new, it's a big opportunity, and it's something that a lot of people can do well with if they have the correct guidance and know how to do it. So today's video is, I'm sure you've seen it, it's a longer video. I'm not 100% sure how long it's gonna be, but I'm gonna be giving you a full-on free, 100% free crash course on self-publishing that's gonna walk you from complete beginner to a pretty knowledgeable person when it comes to self-publishing, and it's gonna get you in the right direction to publishing your first book on Amazon and learning how I've gone from 0 to 10K per month with this business model, okay? So I don't wanna waste any more time. I just wanna get straight into the video today. So it's gonna be slides on my screen and me walking you through all the different steps, all the different processes and methods that go into self-publishing books on Amazon, okay? So I don't wanna waste any more time, okay? Let's just get right into the video. I'm gonna teach you guys exactly how I've done what I've done in the past year with self-publishing books, okay? Let's dive into my screen. Okay, so we are in my screen now. You can see on the screen here, we got the free self-publishing crash course. You're gonna learn how to publish a book from A to Z in this video, okay? So I'm gonna be showing you all of the different things, all the different strategies, all the different methods that go into self-publishing a book on Amazon, okay? So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. First things first, I wanna introduce who I am though, because if you're brand new here, you're probably wondering who's this guy that's like talking to me about making 10K online. Is he lying stuff? Okay, I want to make sure that you know who I am and that I'm not lying to you. I've actually made this money with self-publishing books over the past year. My name is Dane McBeth. If you're new here and you're not sure who I am, on my YouTube channel, I talk all about self-publishing, online entrepreneurship, and just like lifestyle stuff in general, but mainly self-publishing. That's my main thing. And if that kind of thing interests you, make sure you subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. But anyways, this is my first year results publishing books on Amazon. Just so you know, I'm not like a complete nobody and I have no idea what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for over a year now, and I can show you right here on screen the income that I've made monthly off of whether it be my Amazon ebooks, paperback books, or my audiobooks. As you can see here, these are my sales numbers for my first year on Amazon. You can see on the far left there, September 2019, all the way to September 2020 on the far right. And you can see my sales over the first year were over $100,000 from publishing books. And this is just on Amazon. This isn't just, this isn't even Audible. So audiobooks aren't even in the picture here. Here's a screenshot from one of my months on Audible, one of my better months. It's actually getting paid. You can see bottom left there for the month of April. I made $9,000 in 1 month just off of my audiobooks. You can see it's Audible in the top left there. Another month on Audible was $7,000, another one $4,000. And then you can see one of my best months on KDP, which is Amazon, for print books and ebooks. I made just under $10,000 in 1 month off of Amazon alone. If you add my April earnings, like you saw it before, it was $9,000. That month I made over $18,000 publishing books on Amazon and Audible. So if you're not seeing the opportunity already. You should be. This is the opportunity that self-publishing has. And like I said, not many people are in this business model right now. Not many people know about it. So if you can get in there right now and start publishing your first books and starting to take over the market, because it's not saturated like those other business models I was talking about. Publishing is brand new. It's under the radar. Some people have known about it for a long time. Don't get me wrong. It's not like completely brand new, but compared to the other business models, it's completely unsaturated. So it's definitely a big opportunity, okay? So let's dive into the course here, the crash course on this in this video, okay? So the first thing I want to make clear to you is understanding the business model, how it works, how we actually make money publishing books, okay? So self-publishing basics. This is not something, I want to get this out of the way right away. This is not something you can get rich with overnight, okay? It's not one of those get rich quick schemes. This is a full-on business. It's a real business that you can make money off of, but it's not going to make you money in the first, 5 to 10 days, okay? It's going to take a little bit of time and take a little bit more investment because it's a real online opportunity. It's not just a scam, okay? So long-term results are the name of the game, and here is how we do it, all right? So steps to self-publishing. Number 1 is find keywords in a nonfiction niche that is not only in demand, but also it has potential for something that you're interested in, okay? So not only are we finding in-demand keywords to make our books about, or also making sure that we're interested in them so we could put our best effort into them. Number 2 is building the foundation of your book. So this consists of things like your title, your outline, your description, your cover, etc. Okay, there's lots of different pieces that go into creating a book, which I'll be talking about later on. Number 3 is finding and hiring experts in your niche to write and edit the book for you based off of your outline that we provide to them, okay? I'll be talking about outlines later on. But yes, we're not writing these books ourselves, okay? We're actually hiring people to do it for us. So basically we're making money off of these books that we don't even write, okay? So very nice automated business model in that regard, okay? Number 4 is we format them and get the book ready to be published. And we go live on KDP, which is Amazon, so ebooks and print books. And we begin marketing and selling our books, okay? So here are the different kinds of books. Let me go into depth about the 2 of them that I'm going to talk about in this video, the 2 that I focus on Amazon, okay? So first things first are long form books. And these are books that are around 25,000 words long. They take longer to make, usually around 3 to 4 weeks. They cost around 500 and up, okay? 500 is on the lower end when it comes to making a long form 25K plus word book. And then they also are focused on brand building, okay? So long form books are, the name implies it, they're long-term orientated books that you're gonna make money off of long-term thinking, okay? They're not making money overnight. But long form books hold a very, very high opportunity to make a lot of money off of Kindle direct publishing. For example, my very first book that I ever published was a long form book, and it's still one of my best sellers to date, and it makes me a ton of money every single month, okay? The other kind of book that we're talking about here are DIY style books, do-it-yourself books, I call them. And these are around half the length, around 7K to 10K words long. They're shorter to make, obviously, so it doesn't take as long as the long form books do. They cost around $100 and up, and they're focused on making money and generating cash flow. So with these guys, you can make them faster, make them cheaper, and you can make money a little bit quicker than when it comes to long form books, okay? Generally speaking, you can't make as much off of these DIY style books. That's why I like to incorporate both of these kinds of books into my publishing portfolio, so I have the biggest opportunity that I can to make money, okay? Here are the different platforms that we publish on. Amazon KDP, which is for ebooks and print books. Audible ACX, which is for obviously audiobooks, and then there are many others, but the 2 at the top there are going to be the main money makers when it comes to publishing books. As you know, Amazon is a massive company, and with that massive reach they have, it's going to be where you make the most of your money. And Audible is also owned by Amazon, so you can see there what goes without saying, you're going to make a lot of money off of audiobooks as well. So what makes publishing different? So what makes publishing, this whole business model, different than like affiliate marketing, drop shipping, all those other ones I was talking about at the beginning? What makes it special? What makes it such a great opportunity right now? So first things first, you get outsource different tasks and speed up the overall process of the business, okay? Tons of different areas in publishing that you can outsource and hire other people to do for you, which makes it not only more efficient, more faster to do, but a lot less tolling on the work ethic and amount of work you have to put into it. There's also no other online business model that offers the opportunity to compound your income and grow bigger and bigger. And what I mean by this is that every time you make a book, it's on Amazon forever, and it's just another income stream. You add a book to that, add a book to that, add an audiobook to that. There's tons of different ways you can make money with publishing, and you can just keep on growing and growing and growing it. Another thing is that the more you do, the easier it gets. That's kind of with anything though. The more familiar you get with it, the easier it gets and the faster you can do things. For every one book that you create, 3+ additional income streams are instantly created. So what I mean by that is that you have a paperback book, you have an ebook, and you also have an audiobook for that one book that you've made. Okay, so there's tons of different ways you make money, and that kind of pairs with my second point at the top there. There's also no inventory and overhead costs at all. So when you're doing things through Amazon, they actually are print on demand. So you don't have any inventory at all. So for example, an FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, different kind of business model. You have to have your own product, okay? When it comes to publishing, when a customer orders your book off of Amazon, Amazon prints it at their facility and ships it directly to the customer. So we have no inventory and we have no overhead costs in that regard. And finally, there is no dealing with shipping and angry customers, okay? Amazon does all of that for you. So if there's angry customers and there's shipping and stuff like that, which can be a nightmare when it comes to most businesses, Amazon handles all that for you, okay? Which is very nice when it comes to this online business model. All we got to worry about is the quality of our product and what kind of books we're making, and not worry about making sure that our customers aren't getting angry and the shipping times aren't slow and stuff like that. That's on Amazon hands, okay? Okay, so now that you have an idea for the business model, you know how it kind of works. Basically, we make a book, Amazon prints it at the facility, ships it to the customer, and that's how we make money in terms of ebooks, paperback books, and audiobooks, okay? So now that you know that, let's talk about how to pick a niche for your books and just what niche selection is in general when it comes to self-publishing. So let's define some different publishing niches. So what is a surface level niche? First things first, let's go over a surface level niche because it is the biggest, kind of broadest thing when it comes to your niches. A surface level niche is one of the main niches that you see when you're surfing through different genres on Amazon, okay? And they are the first group of topics that separate the different genres on Amazon Kindle store. Here are some examples of surface level niches that have done either well for me or have potential in nonfiction, okay? And one of the things I want to make sure is clear with you, I don't even write fiction books. That is a completely different business model. I focus on nonfiction books on Amazon. That's what makes me the most money, okay? So let's go over some surface level niches so you have an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to niches on Amazon. So the surface level niches consist of self-help and mental illness, business and money, travel and adventure, education and teaching, children's books, nonfiction for the most part, health, fitness and dieting, language instruction, humor and entertainment, okay? Those are the main ones that I suggest you get into if you're looking to start with self-publishing and then dive deeper into. There's tons of different other surface level niches you can get into, but I don't really have experience with those ones. These are the ones that I know best and the ones that I suggest you get into if you're just starting out. Now that you know what a surface level niche is, let's go into depth about a sub-level niche. So once you've found a surface level niche you're interested in, you have to click into it. And in that surface level niche, there's gonna be a bunch of different sub-levels that you can actually start looking into and making books about. So a sub-level niche is a topic that is found under one of the surface level main topics that we just talked about that you see on the bestsellers list when on Amazon.com or .ca, but we're focused on .com because that's the biggest market. An example of finding a sub-level niche would be by going into health, fitness, and dieting, and then finding a sub-level niche that contains different keywords such as like keto diet, paleo diet, Mediterranean diet, etc. Okay, so you're going in that surface level niche of health, fitness, and dieting, going in there. I think below that it would be like cookbooks, wine, and food or something like that. And then in that sub-level niche, so we're going 2 layers deep underneath the surface level. The second sub-level niche would be one of these guys, which would be like dieting and cookbooks. And in that sub-level niche, you're gonna find keywords, which are, for example, keto diet, paleo diet, and Mediterranean diet. We'll be talking about keywords in a sec though, so don't let that overwhelm you. So what is the purpose of sub-level niches? So you're probably thinking, why can't I just make a book about a surface level niche? Why do I have to dive deeper into a sub-level? Well, here is why, okay? So a lot of surface level niches that you explore on Amazon are going to be in demand, like very in demand, obviously. Amazon is a big marketplace and most of the sub-level niche or surface level niches will be very in demand, but they're also gonna have a lot of competition. So you're kind of facing that barrier. If you dive deeper into a sub-level niche, you'll be able to find not only way more book topics, but also way less competition, okay? So if you dive deeper from a surface level niche into a sub-level niche, there's still gonna be that demand there because people like the surface level niche, but there's going to be less competition if you separate things into sub-level niches, okay? This won't be the case for all sub-level niches that you explore. Like some of them are going to be super competitive. Even if you dive 2 or 3 layers deep, they're still going to be super competitive. So it's not going to be the case for all of them, so don't get me wrong. But given that there are hundreds or even thousands of them, like these sub-level niches, you are bound to find one that has way less competition than the surface level niche and still holds a strong amount of demand. Okay, so finding a surface level niche you're interested in with a bunch of different sub-levels underneath it is the name of the game. So if you can find a surface level niche, that big list that I talked about earlier, that you like, and then below it there's a bunch of sub-level niches that you're interested in, that is perfect and you're on the right track, okay? So defining So let's just look at a niche example here. So for example, if I was going to the bestsellers list on Amazon, and you can see I'm in any department there, and then books, we're looking top left on the screenshot, and then below it is crafts, hobbies, and home. So right below that books section on Amazon is where all the surface level niches are going to pop up. The one that I clicked here was crafts, hobbies, and home. Once I clicked that, it opened this additional list of sub-level niches. So the first sub-level niche you can see there, sub-level niche number 1 is gardening and landscaping. So after I clicked that, it opened up an additional list of sub-level niches. And within that additional list, there was, like, you can see climate, region, technique, English garden. These are all different sub-level niches that you can make books about. So if I, just for example, I clicked on greenhouses, and then you'll see there's a bunch of books about greenhouses. If you can't tell already, there are tons of different niches, sub-level niches, surface level niches you can go into and explore. And that basically makes it impossible not to find a book that you're not interested in making a book about, or sorry, a topic that you're interested in making a book about. Given that there's so many and Amazon has so many customers, chances are it'll be in demand and you can make money off of that book, okay? So not only are we making money, but we're interested in the topic we're making money, and we're also making a high quality book that's going to serve a purpose and fulfill people who buy it. We're not just selling crap here. We're selling high quality books that fulfill purposes, fulfill people's needs. And that's why I really love this business model, okay? Getting a little off track though, let's continue through this course. So you can see top left there, we're doing some keyword research. So first things first, what is a keyword? So you know what a niche is now? Let's talk about keywords. A keyword is one or more words that can relate to your chosen niche, your sub-level niche, your surface level niche, okay? For example, the phrase knitting for beginners is considered one keyword. It's not 3 separate keywords, okay? So a keyword, even though it sounds like one word, a keyword can be multiple words, okay? So knitting for beginners is one keyword. The keyword falls under crafts, hobbies, and home, so that same surface level niche I just showed you, and then knitting as a sub-level niche on the Amazon bookstore. So if you go on Amazon, click books, and go into crafts, hobbies, and home surface level niche, then below that, you click on the knitting sub-level niche, you'll see as a keyword in that sub-level niche is knitting for beginners. An example of how you can find a book to make about, okay? So now that you know what a keyword is, how do we find profitable keywords? How do you find a keyword that you want to make a book about that's also profitable and in demand? So here are the rules that we go by. First things first, you're going to want to look at 5 to 10 results on the results page. So if I were to type in knitting for beginners on Amazon, on that first list of results of 20 books, I want to make sure that at least 5 to 10 of them are a similar keyword. So I'm not just making a book about some random keyword that doesn't make any sense, okay? After that, we want to check the average bestsellers rank and make sure that it's less than 150,000 on the Amazon bookstore. And I'm going to be showing you these things in a sec, okay? I'll show you on screen what this looks like. Basically, the bestsellers rank is a way of ranking books or any product on Amazon. For example, number 1 on Amazon is the best-selling thing on Amazon. So you can see, for example, the 80,000s overall is the 80,000s best-selling thing on Amazon. So the lower the number, the higher the demand the book or the keyword that you're looking at will be. So anything below an average BSR of 150,000 is generally in demand and it's something you might want to look more into. After that, we want to check the results and make sure they're less than 4 or 5K depending on the niche. So I'll show you how to do this in a sec. But obviously, the less results there are, the less competition there's going to be. And if you pair that with a low average BSR, you'll have low competition and high demand. And that's what we're looking for here. After that, you want to make sure it shows up in the search bar results, top 5 autofill. Okay, so when you type something into the search bar, so if I type knitting for, and then in the autofill results below that, it says knitting for beginners. If it's in the top 5 results of the autofill results, that's what we're looking for, okay? Let me show you what this looks like in case you're a little bit confused, okay? Okay, so I've actually searched a different keyword here. I can search knitting for beginners, but I thought I'd search hydroponics for beginners just to switch it up a little bit. So hydroponics for beginners is also a keyword that you would find going through the surface level niche of crafts, hobbies, and home, then clicking the sub-level niche of gardening, and then you'll see there's hydroponics, which would be like a second sub-level niche. And then in that, you'll see hydroponics for beginners is one of the keywords that one of these books are written about. Okay, so after I find one, going through that list of books going through that list of niches, then I'm going to take that and put that keyword in the search bar, and I'm going to test out and see if it's actually profitable. Okay, so let's go through the different things I talked about there. So number one was finding 5 to 10 results that are similar to the keyword when you type it in. So hydroponics for beginners was the keyword. If I scroll down here, you'll see a lot of these books have hydroponics for beginners in the title. You'll see right there, hydroponics for beginners, hydroponics for beginners, hydroponics for beginners, hydroponics for beginners. So there's 5. And you'll see lots of them are very similar. Hydroponics for absolute beginners, hydroponics for beginners. So it definitely passes the test of the first one. Second one I'm looking for is the average BSR being less than 150,000. So how we're going to do this is making sure we're in an incognito browser, and we're going to have a plugin called Bookbeam. Okay, and Bookbeam is going to allow us, it's a Google Chrome extension, and it's also a software that allows you to do a lot of book research. Very high quality software, by the way. So if you want to get Bookbeam, it'll be linked down below, and you can download it to your computer, and you can do the same tests that I'm doing right here, right now. Okay. So with Bookbeam, it allows us to check a lot of other things with books, but in this instance, we're going to be using it for the average BSR. Okay. So if I click Bookbeam, it's going to show me the average BSR here, top left. Okay. I'm going to go monthly, but it's going to stay the same. So you can see average BSR is 271,000. So obviously that doesn't really pass the test of our second keyword research method here. But it's not too bad. It's not like it's a million or anything like that. It's 270K. So it's not like it's in super high demand, but it's also in decent demand. So that's not bad. And considering that it passed the first test, that's okay. The next test we're looking at is the results being less than 4 to 5K. When I search up hydroponics for beginners, there's only 1,000 results here at the top left. So that's very good. That's pretty low. So that means there's not a lot of competition right now for this keyword. And then finally, it shows up in the search bar top 5 autofill results. And I'm sure this was the most confusing one for you guys when you heard me say it. So I'll show you what this looks like. So if I go back to Amazon.com and I click, make sure I'm in books, and I start typing in hydroponics, you'll see hydroponics for beginners shows up right away. It's number 1 on this list. Okay. So we're looking for it to show up in the top 5, but it's number 1. So obviously it's relevant and people are searching it, and that means it's in demand and it's a keyword that people are interested in buying a book about. Okay. So you can see there's other things that autofill here, but if I continue to type it in, it's going to stay there. So that's good. Let's use knitting for example. Knitting for beginners. You see it pops up right there, number 1. Okay. So that's not too bad. And you also see it pops up like number 7 here, but as I type it in more, it ends up being like the first search results. So that's a different keyword. You can see this one has a lot more results though. So, but that's how we perform keyword research. That's how we find keywords that have potential to be profitable. Okay. So after you've done that, here are some additional questions that you should ask yourself in regards to your keyword to make sure it's the right one you should make a book about. So first things first, I want to make sure that I am interested in a keyword. Do I care about this keyword? Because even though it might make me a lot of money, if I don't care about it in the long run, it's not going to pay off, and it's not something that I want to stick with and continue to make books about. Another thing is, can I do a deep dive on this keyword? Is there lots of content? Can I make lots of chapters about it? Can I make a secondary book about this keyword? Tons of different things. Okay, so you want to check that and make sure it has a lot of content you can make about it. And finally, does the surface level have legs? Are there lots of sub-levels? So on top of just making sure that one keyword you found has lots of content, are there similar keywords you can make more books about in different sub-levels that are related to that book, so you can kind of build a brand and have multiple books within that same sub-level, surface level niche. Okay, that's the third thing you want to look into if you're looking for a keyword. Okay, so now that we know the keyword stuff, let's talk about book construction. So once you've figured out what you want your keyword to be and you have an idea that it's profitable and you want to make a book about it, the next thing we're going to do is make a book outline. Okay, and a book outline is a detailed Word document that you send to a ghostwriter, which we'll be talking about in a sec, that contains all of the different information you want your ghostwriter to expand on and write about in your book. Okay, so this isn't like just some 100-word little thing. You're like, hey, ghostwriter, write me a book about this keyword and make sure you include a couple of these things and make sure it sounds good. It's not super simple like that. A book outline is very high quality. It's in-depth. It should take you about a few hours to make one, but it's obviously going to save you a lot of time. You're not actually having to write the entire book, but we want to make sure it's clear and it outlines exactly what we want that book to be, so it ends up being high quality, okay? Typically, my personal book outlines are around 2K to 5K words, depending on the topic and the keyword that the book is based on, all right? Something that is important to remember is that the better your book outline is, the better your book is going to end up being. And that should go without saying, but simply put, if your book outline sucks, then your book is going to suck, okay? The better, more in-depth, and more clear your book outline is, and the more it portrays what you want your book to be in its final form to your ghostwriter, the better it's going to be, okay? If you refuse to put high-quality work into your outline, your book will end up being terrible. It's as simple as that, okay? So make sure you have that in your head if you go into finding a keyword that's profitable, doing all that time, putting all that time into research, and then you make a crappy book outline, the book's going to be bad too, okay? So what does a book outline consist of? I'm sure you're wondering what a book outline consists of, so let's go over it. Your book category, main keyword, title, subtitle, pen name. So basically you're taking your keyword, you're making a title out of it with a subtitle, a main title, and you're also coming up with a pen name, whether it's your own name or your name with a different last name or some kind of pen name. That's what's going to be at the very beginning of your book outline, and just right front and center, okay? After that, you can go over some general rules and instructions for your partnership with your ghostwriter, how long the book's gonna be, what font you want them to make it to be, how they should format it, all these different things. Then you're gonna explain your target audience for your keywords and your sub-level niche, just so the writer has an idea for who they're writing for, what voice to write your book in order to apply and appeal to the target audience that you're looking to target for, say, your hydroponics for beginners book. You wanna make sure it's geared towards beginners, and typically speaking, people who garden are usually gonna be a little bit older, maybe, like, I don't know, some people are younger, but it's not gonna be like kids, okay? You wanna make sure it's for adults, and it has a voice and a tone that's geared towards adults, okay? Another thing after that is providing a general structure / table of contents for how you want the book to be written. So make sure you outline all the different chapters you want your ghostwriter to write about, your introduction, your body chapters, your conclusion. Make sure it's clear how many you want and what each one is going to be about, okay? Make sure you go in depth on what, like I just said, the introduction, body chapters, conclusion, what they should consist of, and anything else you want your writer to know in regards to your book, your niche, your sub-level niche, your audience, whatever you want to put it in that outline. Make sure it's as detailed as possible. I can't stress that enough, okay? Okay, so now that we have book outlines out of the way, we have keywords out of the way, we have niches out of the way, you know all that stuff. We already have covered a lot of ground here. Let's go over how the book is actually created. So we've done a lot of the groundwork now. We have all that established. Let's go over how our book is created, all right? So first things first, obviously the main thing with the book creation part is the writing of your book, okay? And like I said, we're outsourcing this to a ghostwriter to write for us. And of course, if you're a writer and you don't have enough money to outsource this to a ghostwriter and you know about your topic, you're familiar with your topic, then by all means, write the book yourself. But if you're someone like me who isn't like a professional writer, isn't like super experienced in hydroponics for beginners, I can find a ghostwriter that is an expert in that niche and also is an expert in ghostwriting and who can do it for me. As long as I can provide them with a high quality outline that's mine and it shows exactly what I want in the book, that's how this works, okay? So ghostwriting in a nutshell is that a ghostwriter is hired to write literary or journalistic works, speeches, or other texts that are generally or officially credited to another person as the author. Okay, in this case, the author is us or our pen name, okay? But we own the book, okay? So the ghostwriter is writing our book, whether it's a DIY style book or a long form book with 25K words or 7K words, they're gonna deliver that to us and it is ours at the end of the day. We keep 100% of the royalties, okay? I wanna make sure this is clear to you guys as well. And this is something that's always been important to me, whether I'm hiring any kind of person, but in regards to ghostwriting, as it is one of the most important parts of the publishing business, I wanna make sure this is clear. So one thing you want to make sure is don't treat your writer like an employee. Treat them like a partner, okay? No one wants to be treated like an employee, and don't get me wrong, the employee isn't bad, but if you can treat them like a partner, the results are going to be better. Realize that without your writer or your writers, you wouldn't have a business. Obviously, if you're publishing books, you don't have any writers, you're not going to have any books. I always make sure that I praise the writers for the good work that they deliver, and then I positively critique the changes that I need made. Okay, and this goes for any relationship when you're outsourcing. But again, writing is like number one when it comes to making your book. So I always make sure that I praise them for what they did good, and then I give them positive feedback. A healthy relationship with your writer creates the best results in your books, and which makes your publishing business healthy and long-term orientated. Okay, it's not short-term, not just making a crappy book, publishing it and hoping it does well. You're making a high-quality book, so the better your relationship is with your writer, the more high quality the book's going to be, and the longer that book's going to last, and the longer the business is going to last, the more money you're going to make. Okay, all stems from this relationship that you create with your writer. And finally, don't micromanage. Let them do the work that you ask for. Let them be, and then come back once they're finished and talk to them about it. Okay, don't micromanage them and ask them for updates every single hour. Okay, make sure you let them do their thing, let them do the work they're good at, and then come back and check in on them and see how they're doing. Okay. Now let's go into how to hire a writer. Okay, so now you know what ghostwriting is, what it does for a business, how big of a part it plays in our business. Let's go over a couple different ways you can hire writers. And the first way is going to be through Upwork. And Upwork is a place that it's a website that you can post any kind of job listing you want, and people will apply to your job listing. Okay, so if I need a writer, I'll post a job listing looking for a ghostwriter to write a book about, and then fill in the blank, your keyword, and make a job description, and people will apply to that job description, and you can interview them and see if they're the right fit. Once you get a few proposals to your job, you can sift through them and begin to interview them with candidates who have potential. Okay, so like I said, let them roll in to your job description. Once you post it on Upwork, Upwork posts it to their network, and there's tons of freelancers that are all associated with Upwork, and they're going to apply to your job, and then you're going to interview them and see who's the best fit. All of the payments and contracts are also done through Upwork, so it's very easy and seamless. And the only drawback is that it will take you some time to look through writers and eventually pick one. And this can be very time consuming, and it can take a long time and a lot of energy and effort to find the right writer for your book. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind when it comes to Upwork. It's a lot of manual work. It's like anything. If you've ever hired someone, you know how challenging it can be, you know how time consuming and mentally straining hiring someone can be and making sure they're the right fit for the job. So on the other hand, another way you can do this is going through Hot Ghostwriter. Okay, so consider Hot Ghostwriter to basically be an automated way of hiring a writer for your book. Okay, so all that stuff I just talked about, that stuff that's manual labor that takes a lot of time, Hot Ghostwriter handles this for you, and they also have very high quality ghostwriters that are ready to write books about your particular keywords and niches. If you choose to go through Hot Ghostwriter, they find the perfect writer for you, whatever niche or keyword that you're in. Okay, they do all that for you. They take that entire time-staking step out of the equation for you, and they do it for you. With Upwork, you need to find the specific writer, do all of the vetting and hiring yourself, which can take time, like I said. Hot Ghostwriter handles all of these things, and they are known for having some of the highest quality writers at the best prices in the industry. Okay, so I'll link both of those services down below. I also have a code that you can use on Hot Ghostwriter. If you're looking to go through them, get a little bit of a deal. You'll get 5% off. It'll be linked down below. Okay. So now that you got your book written, let's talk about covers. General rules of thumb. A good cover, which is one that sticks out from its competition, is a different color, uses images, clear, bolded text, and clearly conveys what your book is going to be about. Okay, if someone's scrolling through Amazon, they see a good cover, it spikes their interest and they want to learn more about your book. Okay, a bad cover is either very basic or overly busy with tiny text in the same color as every other book in your keyword. Okay, it doesn't stand out at all, and it uses the same style of images and has a similar title to top it all off. Okay, a good example is when I was looking through that hydroponics for beginners book keyword. Tons of those books had like green and white covers. Like, I just remember that in my head. So if you have a green and white cover in that niche, it's not going to stick out and you're not going to get very many sales. Okay, simple as that. Main takeaway is be different and take calculated risks. Okay, what I mean by calculated is make sure the risks you're taking are good risks. They're not like super risky and you're not going to lose a bunch of money. And it's not like this super extravagant cover that doesn't make any sense. It's one that still makes sense, but it stands out from the crowd. So it's a calculated risk. You're not playing it safe and doing exactly what everyone else is doing. You're doing things a little bit differently to make sure that you stand out from the crowd and get as many sales as possible. Okay. Now that you know how to make a high quality cover, there are a few different types of covers that you need to know about. Okay. So since your book will be in different formats, like I said, paperbacks, ebooks, and audiobooks, you'll need different formatted versions for your cover for each of them. So the three main formats you're going to need are these guys, okay? And I have an example that I actually made for this course, and you'll see right now. See, there's an ebook version, which is just a 2D, looks like a book cover, 2D flat thing, that's an ebook cover, okay? And you can see this one's called Hydroponic Gardening Guide. All right. The paperback version has a back and a spine plus the front that we just showed. So you can see there's additional things you got to have for the paperback version. And that spine will be a different thickness depending on how long the book is. Okay, the spine being that green line in the middle there. So if you can imagine, this flat image is going to be folded like that, obviously, for the cover for the book. Finally, audiobook covers are square. So on audible.com, you'll see that hydroponics book right there. It is a square, perfect square. That's what an audiobook cover looks like. So again, you're going to need 3 different versions of your covers if you're looking to make 3 different versions of your book. Okay, ebook, paperback, audiobook. Typically speaking, paperbacks and audiobooks are where you're going to make the most of your money when it comes to nonfiction. Okay, so how to get your covers made. Okay, you know what covers are, you know the different formats. How do you get them made? So Fiverr is where you're going to go if you're a beginner. Okay, if you're just starting out with publishing, you don't want to spend an arm and a leg on a cover, go with Fiverr. Okay, it's a great place to start. This is an excellent resource to get covers made for as cheap as like $5. And here you can find designers who oftentimes offer the complete package too. Okay, so they offer the ebook covers, they offer the paperback book covers, they offer the audiobook covers, all in one order. Okay, so you get the whole package right out of the way. I wouldn't spend any higher on like $20 on each cover. Okay, you can actually get them as like low as $5. Like I said, you get the ebook for $5, paperback for $5, and the audiobook cover for $5. Okay, since it's cheap, like it's really cheap. If you think about it, it's very affordable. You can make that back in like your first week publishing books. Since it's cheap, I suggest ordering from multiple designers at once and then choosing your favorite from the bunch. Okay, so like maybe 3 or 4 designers, order the same cover from all of them, and then choosing the best one out of the 4. That's how I would do it, and that's how you can get the best results too. An example of what one of these listings looks like, you can see we got Rebecca covers here, and she says, I will design professional book cover or ebook cover for your publishing business. And you can see, simple as that, you just order it, you give her the details, what you want it to look like, and the title, the subtitle, and the author name, and she will make the cover for you. And she's great. I've used her a few times, and she's an awesome designer. She's one of like thousands of other designers too. So if you don't like the stuff that she shows on her examples there, you can go through other ones, browse through them, and see which ones you like, okay? So once you have your book cover made, another thing we got to talk about are book descriptions. Okay, so first things first, having a high quality cover is very important because that's what's going to get people to click into your book if they have interest in it. And then once they click into your book, they're going to see your book description, and that's going to be the next thing they look at because that's going to explain what your book is about, what they can expect, and it's going to spike enough interest so that they want to buy the book and read more. Okay, so simply put, a book description is basically your sales pitch for your book. Once they click in, they see it. It sells your book. It is quite literally the virtual Jordan Belfort of your sales process, okay? People click into your book and right away they're greeted with that sales pitch. And you don't want to make it too salesy, obviously. You want to make sure it describes your book, but also sells it to the point where they're interested and they want to read more. It also takes your book from Amazon and puts it into your reader's hands. Like pretty much that's what anything in sales. It takes it from the sales room, from the showroom to the person who's buying his home. Same idea. Okay, a lackluster book description means lackluster sales. Okay, with a bad book description, bad sales pitch, bad spiking of interest, you're not gonna get any sales on your book. So obviously this is a very important aspect to the sales process of your book. So key areas to focus on when it comes to your book description. So make sure the first 5 seconds should initially instantly hook and spark interest with the reader. Keep the whole thing concise and to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Make sure it shows exactly what your book is about, what they can expect, and sells the book at the end. Use relatable, pain point focused examples / scenarios your customers currently find themselves in. So relate to the customer and make sure you can target some of their pain points and make sure that it shows them that the book that you have is going to solve these problems for them, but don't quite solve them in the book description. You want to make sure it just says that it's going to solve them if you buy the book, kind of thing, okay? Explain that your book holds the solutions, like I just said, to these pain points and desired outcomes they're looking for. Spiking curiosity spikes sales. Give a little, not a lot. Again, give them ideas for what they can expect, but don't give them ideas for how they can fix it right away. Your book is the answer to the questions. The book description is not the answer to these. It's telling them what they can expect in order to get the answers to these things, okay? State your authority at the end. Make sure you say what your background is, some testimonials from your other books, stuff like that, okay? So now you know the different parts that go into a book description. Here are some strong examples, okay? There are a few different angles you can take when you make your book description. It's not like a science. You don't have to do everything exactly the same as I just explained, but there's definitely different things. You want to make sure you sprinkle them into your book descriptions. with a few tweaks here and there, you should be able to make some killer book descriptions to boost your sales, okay? Here are a few different examples, and I'll link them down below. I'll go over one right now, but I'll link this down below so you can check them out on your own time so you have an idea for what a good book description looks like for your book so it sells it for you, okay? So let's go through this document that I'll link down below. And I've got them all linked in this document. I'll share it with you guys in the description down below if you want to check them out. But for example, number one here has a very enticing and opening hook. And you'll see it talks about what the book is all about and has bullet points explaining all the different parts and pieces, like the pain points and stuff that the book is going to help them with. It contains these answers, okay? And then at the end, it has a CTA saying, hey, buy the book, and obviously buy the book from us. And then at the end, it says, it kind of hits a nerve and says, gift it to your kid, your friend, your neighbor, gives people ideas for them to buy their book. And obviously at the end here, it doesn't really state their authority or anything like that. But again, you don't have to do every single thing, but as long as you have different pieces sprinkled in your book description, it should be a powerful book description. So again, I will link this down below and you guys can go through it on your own time. All right. So now that you have all the ideas, you have all the different pieces, you know how to find your keywords, you know how to make a book description, titles, covers, all those different things that go into a book. Let's talk about putting everything together now, okay? So we're getting to the latter half here of the lesson, of the course. Let's talk about putting everything together into one coherent bond, all right? So first things first, after you get your book, your written piece back from your ghostwriter, you wanna make sure you focus on the editing and proofreading of your book so it's ready to be published. So here's some things to look for. Spelling and grammar mistakes, weird formatting, swearing, racial slurs, inappropriate uses of language, etc. Unless they obviously serve a purpose in the book, these kind of things can throw people off and leave bad reviews. Also, incorrect formatted table of contents. If your table of contents is all over the place, it says this certain thing is on page number 8 and that certain thing ends up being on page number 10, that's going to be a problem, okay? So here are 3 different ways you can go about doing this proofreading. First thing, obviously, you can do it yourself. This method will take the most time out of the 3, and you're most likely not a professional, and surely you're gonna miss some things here and there. That's just what it is, okay? If you're not a professional proofreader and editor, you're probably gonna miss some things if you're new to this. You don't have a built-in plagiarism checker either, so you can't check for plagiarism if your writer, for some reason, plagiarized something. And if your budget is tight, this can work, but I don't suggest it. It's not my first thing that I would suggest you do. But if you don't have money to pay for a proofreading service or like an actual person to go through your book, this will do the job in the beginning, okay? Number 2 is Grammarly. It's gonna cost you a bit of money, but it does an okay job, but from my experience, it still can miss things. So I don't love Grammarly. It has a built-in plagiarism checker that gets the job done. It's not great, but lots of people like Grammarly. Personally, I haven't had the best experience with Grammarly, but it does the job if you're on a tighter budget. Number 3 is outsourcing, and this is my favorite. This is what I suggest you do. Source 2 to 3 different proofreaders / editors, and anytime you need a book to be proofread and edited, you can message them if you did it through Upwork or something and set up a contract and get them to edit your book so they're kind of on hand, they're on demand. Whenever you need them, you can contact them and be like, hey, I got a new book. It needs to be proofread and edited. This should cost you anywhere from like $50 to $100 depending on the book length. So for example, like a 30K word book for me, usually like $80 to $150 depending on the proofreader and editor and the different kind of book, the niche, the topic, all those different things kind of factor in to the price. This is a real human going through your book, okay? It's not some robot going through the book. It's actually looking at it. They're making changes here and there. They're giving you suggestions. It's a little bit more, it's just more personable, and it gives you a better idea for what your book will look like when it's finished. This makes it super valuable, having a real person go through it, since it's a second set of eyes going through it, providing feedback and suggestions for you to make it even better, okay? So now that you have that, if you hire a real person, again, they don't have a built-in plagiarism checker. So after you hire someone to edit and proofread your book, make sure that you have a way to check for plagiarism. You wanna make sure there's no plagiarism in your book so you don't face any issues with KDP. So like I said before, Grammarly checks for plagiarism, but if you're not using the grammar checker, then it's a bit expensive, okay? So you can use their plagiarism checker, but if you're not using the grammar checker and you're hiring someone, it can be a bit expensive. So something called QText has always worked for me, and it's only like $10 per month, and I'll link it down below. It's very usable, very easy plagiarism checker. You just put your whole manuscript into it and it'll check it for you. It does a deep scan as well. Super easy to use, super quick. It's only like $10 a month. So personally, I think that's very worth it. And just check for plagiarism, make sure your book isn't gonna get you into trouble with Amazon. after you have everything made, everything edited and proofread, there are two different kinds of manuscripts. Okay, there's ebooks, which are digital products, like I was saying before, aka the Kindle form of your product on KDP, and they're usually priced between 99 cents and $9.99. Paperback books, on the other hand, are physical products. Obviously, these are the ones that Amazon is printing at their facility and shipping to the customer, and these are the ones that we're going to make the most money off of in nonfiction. These are aka the money maker, like I just said, and they're priced between $7.99 and $24.99, generally speaking. Okay. Here's some key elements for ebooks. Okay, so the first one there, they have a title page, they have a disclaimer, they have table of contents, which is hyperlinked to the different sections, because if it's an ebook, people can actually click on the table of contents and jump to a certain part in the book. They have a funnel in them, introduction and body chapters, conclusion, and resources at the end. Okay, that's how a typical ebook is formatted and set up. Here's some key elements for paperbacks. So basically all the different things we just talked about go into paperbacks, but they have a dimension so they can be printed and actually look nice in the paperback, which is usually 5x8 or 6x9. Personally, I prefer 6x9 for longer books, and then 5x8 for shorter books. Just how I usually do it. Same sections as the ebook with a couple different tweaks. So like I said, all those sections I just talked about, all the same, but there's a different couple tweaks with those sections in particular. So the table of contents is numbered and it's not hyperlinked. So I'll show you an example of what this looks like in a second so you're not confused. And it also has blank pages. So after the title page is a blank page. Then it goes into like the table of contents or the disclaimer or whatever. With ebooks, there's not usually blank pages like that. So here's an ebook TOC versus a paperback TOC, table of contents. So you can see the ebook is hyperlinked. So those are all the different chapters for a hydroponics for beginners book, for example, that you can click on and jump to a different part in the book. When you look at a paperback, it is just numbered and those aren't clickable. Those numbers, it just guides you to a different page number in the book. And you can see on the ebook example, there's actually no page numbers at the bottom because depending on what the reader is reading your thing on, whether their computer, their Kindle, whatever the tablet they're reading the book on, there's going to be different areas and different sizes for all these different things. So page numbers are kind of irrelevant. So that's why it's hyperlinked. Okay. When it comes to formatting your book, if you're not 100% sure how to do it properly, you can always outsource the formatting for your book as well, which is similar to many other areas of publishing. We can also outsource the formatting of our book, like I just said. So at the beginning of this course, I told you you can outsource a lot of pieces when it comes to publishing books, and you're seeing now that it's very evident that there's lots of different areas you can outsource, like the writing, the editing, proofreading, the formatting, all these different areas, the covers. Okay. One of the best services for this kind of thing is called Ultimate Book Formatting by my friend Ed, and I'll link his service down below. He does all the formatting for you, and it's for a very low cost. Okay, so I'll link it down below so you can check him out if you're looking to have a book formatted. And Ed is an absolute pro at formatting and can get the job done for you effectively and time efficiently. Okay, and he'll do it very well. He's a pro. Okay, so he does the job very fast and at a very good price as well. His service is linked down below. Okay, so if you have a book that's needing formatting right now, for whatever reason, or you followed all the steps in this course and you have an idea for what you want to make and you have the book ready and you want to get it formatted, Ed is the guy to go through. Okay. Another thing you can do is an initial review boost. Okay, so once you have your book ready to go, it's not quite published yet, but it's formatted, everything's ready to go. You can get some reviews on your book at the beginning to give you a little bit of a boost and get some initial sales and ranking on Amazon. So what we're going to use is Booksprout, and Booksprout plays two key roles in getting us reviews. Number one, it creates a specialized link, which is called an ARC link, ARC, Advanced Reader Copy, making it easy for people to download your book for free before it's live on Amazon. Okay, and Booksprout does all this for us. It shares this link to their network of reviewers for free. So once they make that link, you got to find people who are interested in downloading that link, which is your book, to read it and leave a review by the time it goes live on Amazon. And Booksprout has not only the feature of making the link for you, but they have a network of people who are readers and are going to download your link and leave reviews on it, on the book once it's live on Amazon. And we can distribute this link to people who are interested in our book for free as well. So if we have friends or family, we have people on Facebook, something like that, you can always distribute your Booksprout link to those people as well, on top of getting it distributed to Booksprout's network of people. Okay. Plus, we get reviews from Booksprout reviewers, like I just said. So tons of different ways to get initial reviews on your book to give it that initial boost when you're looking to get some sales on Amazon right away. So Here's how it works, okay? Once your ARC is made, the people who claim it have a set amount of time. So you make that link, you give it to people that you know, and also Booksprout gives it to their network of people. If people download it, they have a set amount of time to read your book and then leave a review for you. Most commonly, we give people around 12, maybe 10 to 12, 14 days to do this, depending on the length of your book. On the second to last day of this time period, we submit our book to KDP, so it goes live on Amazon, okay? And submitting your book on KDP is very simple, and I'll show you how to do that in a sec. But we do this 2 days before so that it's live once these people are done reading our book and they can leave a review on the live book on Amazon. That way, when our book goes live 1 to 2 days later, these people will be able to leave a review on our book on Amazon. Okay, so you give them that ARC 2 weeks earlier before your book is live, 2 days before it goes live, put it live, and then they're reminded to leave a review at the end of that 14 days, and it goes live and it shows up on Amazon. Booksprout has a notification feature that sends an email to these people to remind them to leave a review on the last day of the ARC promotion, okay? And you manually have to send this, but it sends the email to them and they will leave a review in like 2 or 3 days usually. Okay, so now that you know all that stuff, we've been going for a while now, but like I said, this is full on course. I'm holding nothing back here. Now it's time to go live with your book on Amazon, okay? So first things first, when you're going through Kindle, I'm gonna show you this in just a second. But I'm going to talk about a few things before we do it that are going to stand out to you that you're going to be kind of confused about. If you want to enter in your book descriptions, like I talked about, the Jordan Belfort part of your book, your sales pitch of your book, it's got to be HTML formatted, okay? And it's going to look something like this. So it's going to be really, really weird. It's going to have all these different HTML tags in it. But if you want to create that, you don't know how to do that kind of thing, there is a link down below where you can, it's a source for creating your book descriptions and formatting them properly for KDP. Don't ask me why KDP needs this and they haven't updated it so you can just do it on their platform. They seem a little bit behind with that kind of thing, but there is luckily a resource down below that will create the book description for you, okay? Below that, you're gonna see something called Backend Keywords, and this is gonna be a section where you can enter 7 keywords that aren't in your book title for your book to rank for. So they gotta be related to the keyword that you're ranking your book for, okay? So here's some rules to follow for these 7 backend keywords. Amazon explicitly tells you not to use a keyword that you've already used in your book title. Okay, so use different ones, which makes this the perfect spot to put keywords that didn't quite make the cut for your title. So particularly when we're making our title, we're putting our keyword in our main title, and then our subtitle, we're putting a few more keywords that relate to our book so it ranks for those when people search them on Amazon. If for whatever reason you had more keywords that didn't make it into that subtitle, this is the perfect spot to put them, which is your backend keywords. Only include relevant keywords, nothing misleading or like other author names, different categories. And here are some other things to avoid when you're entering in these keywords. Free, book, Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, KDP Select, paperback, new, on sale, cheap, buy now, bestseller, book titles, author names, category names. Don't put those in your backend keywords. You're not allowed to, and it could get you into trouble with Amazon. Okay, so after that, we're gonna upload our book and upload the cover and the manuscript and all that stuff. After that, it's gonna come our pricing, okay? So for ebooks, typically $2.99 to $9.99 for 70% royalties. Anything different than that will get you only 35% royalties. So the sweet spot on Amazon is to put your ebook priced at $2.99 to $9.99 to get 70% of the royalties on an ebook sale. I suggest doing $2.99 to $3.99 after 1 week has gone by, like after it's live. For the first week, do 99 cents so you can maximize sales, okay? So after that first week of 99 cents, up it to $2.99 or $3.99, okay? Paperbacks, usually $13.99 to $17.99. Base this on competition's pricing as well. So depending on what keyword, what niche you're in, the pricing is going to be a lot different for different competitors. So you want to make sure your price is competitive compared to competitors, okay? For the first 1 to 2 weeks, have the price set a little bit lower than you'd like it in order to boost sales and get your book ranking. And after that, feel free to experiment with higher prices and see what best suits your book. So go higher, go lower, see what gets the most sales and what ends up being the sweet spot for your book, okay? So now that all those main sections are out of the way, let me show you what it looks like when you're uploading your book to KDP. So this is what it's going to look like when you're uploading your book to Kindle Direct Publishing. So this is for your ebook and your paperback. And in this instance, I am doing the ebook version of this book, okay? So basically, it's going to ask you for your title, subtitle, and then you can put a series in if you have that. Then put the author. If you have any contributing authors, you can put them down here. And this isn't really typically your ghostwriter since we paid them up front. The book is ours. They're not like a contributing author that gets a piece of our royalties. We're getting 100% of the royalties. Below that is the description section, and you can see the description for this book is right here, and you can see there's a bunch of HTML tags. And like I said, there'll be a resource down below where you can access the book description creator. If you need to learn how to make some HTML tags and stuff like that, it'll do it for you. Publishing rights, I own them. Keywords, you can see I put in hydroponically because that wasn't a keyword in my title. Greenhouse garden, do it yourself, and so on. Below that, I chose the relevant categories to my book, and then everything else under there usually doesn't matter too much. I'll do I am ready to release my book now, and then I'll go save and continue. On the second page, there's 3 pages when it comes to uploading your book. It's going to ask you for digital rights. I usually just do no. Upload your manuscript. So the ebook formatted version will upload there. The cover will upload there, and then we'll go next. I'm going to click up here because sometimes it takes forever to load the next page when you're on KDP. It's not going to let me do that. And then on the final page, you're going to see it's all about pricing. KDP Select is what's going to allow you to do something that's called a free book promotion. I'll be going over promotions in a sec. I will check that. All territories. And then you'll see down here, you can choose what you want your price to be. If you want it to be 70% royalty, like I was talking about for an ebook, you're going to make sure the price is in between $2.99 and $9.99 as it says here. Okay. In the beginning though, like I said, for the first week, make it 99 cents. In order to make it 99 cents, you're going to have to select that 35% royalty rate. Okay. And then there's different countries. So for the different prices of your book in those different marketplaces. After that, allow lending and publish your Kindle ebook, okay? And the process is very similar for the paperback book. Since you've already done it for the ebook, a lot of the stuff will autofill, and then you just gotta do the different parts that attribute to a paperback version of your book, okay? So that is what the upload process looks like for your ebook on Amazon, okay? Let's go back. So after you've uploaded your book, it's live now. You got Booksprout reviewers leaving some reviews on there. It's at 99 cents. You're in your first week. Book marketing is the next biggest thing. And if you don't know how to market your book and you have no idea what to do in terms of selling your book and actually making money, your book's going to flop and it's not going to do well. You can't just publish a book on Amazon and expect it to make money. It might make you some, but it's not going to make your money back. And it's definitely not going to make you enough money to quit your job and actually start doing publishing full time. So book marketing is obviously number one here. If you can't sell your book, you're not going to make any money. So simply put, without marketing, you won't get any sales or make any money from your books. I'll say it again because it needs to be clear. If you don't know how to market your book, you don't know how to make money online with books, okay? So we market our books for maximum sales through these main things. Amazon ads being number one. It's how we're going to make a lot of our money through Amazon paid ads. Pay-per-click is what it's called. A proper book launch. So once our book goes live, making sure that our book launch is very strong, and some contributing pieces were like that 99-cent thing I told you, and changing the price around with your paperbacks and making sure they're low at the beginning so it gets ranking and more people are buying it. Okay. Additional review tactics. So on top of just getting reviews from Booksprout, we're going to utilize our list of people, our fans. So I'm going to teach you how to make that. I'm going to talk about that in a sec. And also, there's other services that you can get reviews through as well. For example, one is called Pubby, which allows you to get some review for review kind of thing. Different ways you can get more reviews. Simply put, reviews on your book are very powerful. The more you can get, the better your sales will be. And finally, building an email list of fans. So like I just said, having a strong list of fans to promote your book to and get more reviews and get more sales in the beginning is very crucial. Okay, so those are different ways that we're going to market our book. So now that you are familiar with all of the different steps that go into publishing your book, all the different things, and why it's so important to not only have a book on Amazon, but a high quality book, high quality writers, and put a lot of time into things so you get as many sales as possible. And then at the end of it, once it's live, make sure your marketing is on point. How can you get started right now? So I just talked about everything, all the different steps that go into publishing your first book on Amazon. How can you get more in-depth information? How can you get started right now? So getting started. So now that you have a clear idea for all of the different steps that go into publishing your first book on KDP, ebook and paperback book. I didn't talk too much about audiobooks because if I did, this would be very long, simply put. There are still a few things you need to apply and have in place to successfully have a successful publishing business on Amazon, okay? There's a few different things you need to have in place in order to get there, but I told you already how to get your first book made, okay? Now that you know that, how do you take it to the level where you're making money? So here are some additional pieces you need to be successful, okay? These are things you need. Knowledge about the different kinds of profitable books you should publish, so not only knowing about long form and DIY books, but how to make each of those books and what goes into each of them, what makes them different from each other, and what purpose do they serve on the Amazon marketplace, and when you should make them, how you should make them, how much money to spend on them, all that stuff. Okay. The proper length, dimensions, cover sizes, and templates for your books. So not only just the cover sizes I went over in this video, but also the different templates, like a book description template, an outline template to send to your writer, all those different things. Also how to integrate a properly functioning funnel. If you noticed back in a few slides ago, I kind of breezed over a funnel. You're probably like, what is a funnel? If I talked about a funnel in this video, it would be very long again. So this is another piece you need in order to build your fan base, which in turn gets you more sales and more reviews on your books and makes you more money. Another thing is a proper, highly optimized book outline to give to your ghostwriter. Again, you need to know how to make that, and to have a template for it would make it a lot easier if you're wondering how to make it. In-depth keyword research strategies to find the most profitable keywords. So I showed you one way of doing it. There's many different things that go into keyword research on top of what I just showed you. And also a proper launch strategy for your book to solidify sales and growth from the beginning. Gathering keywords for your Amazon ads is another thing. So in order to run successful Amazon ads, you need to know how to find profitable keywords to target your Amazon ads with in order to make the most money possible from those ads. And finally, creating highly profitable, optimized Amazon ads to scale your book sales. Okay. So finding the keywords, creating the ads, and then optimizing those ads further so they make you as much money as they possibly can, and you don't waste money on keywords that aren't working. You spend more money on keywords that are working. Okay. Now, how can you learn and start applying all of these different pieces I just talked about, including the creation of your book? Because I talked about everything there, but it's hard to go in depth on it, super in depth on it in one YouTube video. Okay. How can you learn and start applying these pieces that I just talked about? So you know what they are, you know what goes into making the book, but how do you start doing it for yourself and actually applying it to your books and actually doing this business and taking it firsthand and making money with it without like months of trial and error, like trying to figure out what works and what doesn't? How do you do that? If I were to go into detail about all these things right now, it would be a very lengthy video. Okay. This thing would be over 5 hours long. Okay. However, if you're serious about publishing, you want to get into it. I'm not selling you here. Don't worry. I'm not selling you anything. If that's what your guards are probably going up right now. I'm not selling you anything, okay? Just keep listening to what I'm saying. If you're serious about publishing, all of these things are exactly what part 2 of this free training has to offer, okay? This is part 1. I explained everything. This is an introduction to how to make your first book on Amazon, but there is a part 2 to it that I have made strictly for people who go through this video and are interested and are action takers and are looking to make a difference in their life with a very proven online business that is set to work instead of like dropshipping and affiliate marketing, which are very saturated. This one works, and I know it firsthand, okay? If you are someone who is an action taker, part 2 of this free training is going to show you exactly how to take action. So the best part 2 is also 100% free for you to get access to for a limited time, okay? It's not going to be free forever. Okay, I can't just keep giving all this information away for free forever. I'm not going to make any money, and it's going to burn me out eventually, okay? But right now it's free. You can get access to part 2. It's linked down below this video, okay? It's going to be the first link down there. You'll see it right away. 100% free right now. It might go up, and trust me, it's not going to go over $100, okay? Even if you're not getting in at the time where this was free, it's going to be below $100, probably below $50, okay? Very affordable, and that's literally like 1 day's worth of meals if you're going out to eat, okay? It's expensive nowadays. And if you're looking to invest in yourself and make life-changing income, quit your 9 to 5, like I have done with this publishing business model. An investment of under $100 is very negligible, okay? So just consider that kind of thing. But again, if you're early right now, it might be free if you click that link down there. So you're getting an even better deal. All right. But I want to make it clear, even if it's not free and it's like under $100, it's very, very, very well worth your time. And it might be free forever. Okay. I might never actually charge for this thing, but I just want to make sure that's clear, just in case I say it's free now and I'm charging for it in the future. I just want to make sure it's clear. Okay. The first link in the description down below will take you to part 2 of this free self-publishing crash course. Okay. Again, might be a little bit of money, but in the beginning, right now, it's 100% free for you to get in there and learn how to publish your first book correctly. After part 2, you'll be pretty much ready to publish your first book on Amazon, and you'll be basically starting from where I started last year and on the same exact path that I've taken to get to 10K per month, okay? And beyond, all right, with this publishing business model. It's a seriously effective business model that I firmly believe in, okay? So if you want results like these, like I showed you at the beginning, all these screenshots of my income, I'm not bragging about it. I'm just showing you that it's very possible for people to get into this business model right now, take action right now, and make this kind of money from a month-to-month basis, okay? And you can see on screen here, you can make a lot of money publishing books, okay? So I'll say it again for the last time, sign up for part 2 below this video, and it's gonna be free for a limited time, so make sure you get in there as fast as possible, and the price is gonna go up and up. It's slowly rising, okay? It might be like $20 by the time you see this, might be $50, it'll always be under $100, but it's gonna be in that price range, and right now it's free if you take action on it. Right now it's October 2020, so it's free for probably a little bit now. Make sure you get in there while it's free, limited time. If you're an action taker, this is exactly what you're looking for. If you're looking to quit your 9-to-5, this is exactly what you're looking for. This is exactly what allowed me to quit my 9-to-5 back in March of 2020, okay? This is a serious business model. If you're looking to take it seriously and you're looking to make money online, this is for you. If you're someone who's looking to make money overnight, quick little, do a couple things, press a couple buttons, and you're making $1,000 overnight, this is not for you. This is not what it's going to be. And I'm sorry, you're not really going to find anything that is actually going to make you that kind of money that quickly, okay? Publishing is not that. It is long-term, but if you're serious and you're looking to make actual money online, publishing is for you, okay? So in part 2, we'll be going over way more in depth on each of the parts that I talked about in this video. So all those different things I talked about, this was a nice overview of the whole publishing process. In part 2, we're gonna be going in depth on all of them and actually showing you how to do them. A little bit more in depth. I showed you how to do a few, but there's a lot more that goes into these things. It's also gonna include additional pieces at the end and how to start taking action on each of them, okay? Part 2 is what you wanna get into right now. If you wanna start learning how to publish books right now, change your life, quit your job, and actually make real online income, okay? That's what publishing is gonna show you how to do, all right? So this has been my free publishing crash course video. Definitely a longer video, but a very worth your time if you're actually serious about making money online, okay? My name is Dane McBeth. Hopefully you got some value out of this one. I tried to put as much as I can into this video without it being too long and too boring. So I gave you an idea for the whole publishing process. I gave you some tips, some tricks, showed you exactly how to find profitable keywords. You can take action on this video if you're willing to. But if you need that guidance and you want to avoid that endless trial and error of months and months of testing, I've already done that. And I've put that into this part 2, okay? So if you want to get into part 2, link down below, click it. And I hope to see a bunch of you guys get in there, as I'm super excited. Because it's unlike anything you've ever seen online before when it comes to online business. And I'm a firm believer in self-publishing. It's worked for me. It can work for you, okay? So I don't want to keep rambling. I'll stop talking, but I look forward to seeing you guys in there. This has been free self-publishing crash course part 1, part 2, link down below. I'll see as many as you can get in there. It'll be free for a limited time, okay? So my name is Dane. That's it for this week's video. I do post videos every week, so make sure you subscribe. But anyways, my name is Dane. That's it for today, and I'll see you next time. Peace.